Howdy folks, just wanted to show you my technique for finishing my workbench top. It's a combination of teak oil and paste wax. It's glue repellent, it's pretty durable, it can be touched up whenever needed, and it also keeps dust and other things that I'll be using on top of the workbench from penetrating the surface, and it'll allow it to last for a few more years. The first step is to fill all the imperfections in the surface. I have a lot of nail holes from when I assembled the top. I'm filling every single one of them and trying to get as much of the wood filler off of the surface to make sanding a little easier. Once the surfaces are dry, I use the belt sander to level the two halves of the bench. They're not completely flush, and the top of this workbench will be used as an outfeed table for multiple machines. I'm using 120 grit to level the surface, and then I'll switch over to 180 grit for the final sanding. I sand the entire surface with a random orbit sander to remove any scratches and smooth out the top for the finish. Now that the sanding's complete, I get ready to do my coat of oil. I chose teak oil because it's a pretty cheap oil. It's made up of boiled linseed oil, mineral spirits, and a few other oils. It dries really quickly. It's very inexpensive. You can see it's easy to apply. You just flood it on and spread it around with a clean rag, and then allow it to dry completely. Once the surface is dried, I used a paste wax. I just apply it liberally to make sure it fills in all of the grain, and then allow that to dry completely. There's a little bit of a solvent in it, and once it dries, then you come back and buff it off with a rag. I don't show the buffing process, but it's exactly what you might imagine. I just used a clean rag and rubbed pretty hard on the surface. The final surface finish is semi-glossy and it's very smooth. Wood slides over it very easily. In the future, I will have some bench dog holes and maybe some clamps that I'll use on the surface to secure things, because it is very slick once it's finished.